All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? We're back. NBA second half of the season. My first NBA show back since the break. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone had a nice weekend. Good weekend in the NASCAR streets over here at the Nation. Good weekend in the PGA streets. NBA back in full swing. NHL rolling. We got all things. We got MLB spring training going on right now. We're dialing in our MLB content behind the scenes with that season coming up. And if you guys are not a member yet, head over to SHIPITNation.com. Use that promo code DGEN15. Get you 15% off. Obviously, we got, like I said, MLB right around the corner. We got you covered for that. NFL when it returns. NBA, of course. PGA, MMA, NASCAR, college football when that gets here. We got you covered with everything, but not just we got you covered. We got a whole community of like-minded individuals behind in the Discord, talking lineup construction, talking process, talking knowledge with members, learning from members in there. We're in there as well, answering questions. Use that promo code DGEN15, get you 15% off for life, whatever membership package you do choose. I'll bring my guy Hamwich in. Hamwich, happy Monday, man. How are you? How was your weekend? What's going on, brother?
Yeah, what's going on? Good weekend. Yeah, another day into the Y hip hoop. Shipping another MMA tournament. Members crushed it over here as well. I was loving it. All those Dukies out there had those tears in their eyes. Couldn't get here fast enough for all those Dukies whining all weekend. Shipping over here on the DFS. My boy Hebrew Cheetah, who's in the chat, just absolutely crushing it all weekend as well. Great weekend overall. Looking forward to this show. It's only 4 games, Nate. We need some more games to talk about, but we'll do the best we can with these 4. Let's get it rolling.
Yeah, only 4 games, but hey, we're going to talk through it. We're going to break it down, and we're going to start here with Toronto and Indy. Looking at this game in terms of the total, 245, biggest total on the slate by about 20 points or so. Just a 6-point spread in this one. Pretty obviously very, very good game overall in this one. From injury news, Jalen Smith is questionable. Kendall Brown, which doesn't really matter, questionable. Outside of that, I mean, you got Aaron Nesmith is out for the Indiana side. RJ Barrett is going to be back for Toronto. So not a ton of news outside of Jalen Smith. Nesmith is out in this one. Let's talk about this one. I mean, you got Tyrese Halliburton at 9,500, right? Sub 10K for him, which is a pretty nice price point there. But now he obviously has Siakam over there in Indy with the trades there. I think this is a pretty good game overall from a matchup standpoint. I like Halliburton. I like Scotty Barnes, both of those guys. I also like Quickly. I think one of Quickly or Scotty Barnes. Probably won't play them together, but I think one of those two guys has a big night here for me personally. But where are you going in this one? Indy, Toronto, highest total of the night here.
Yeah, should be a good game. Just in general, obviously got Siakam taking on his former mates, the new look Raptors. You hit the nail right on the head. I think Tyrese Halliburton a great spot. They beat the Mavs yesterday at home. Big win for them. Coming back, have a 125-point total. So I think you're going to want to get some of these guys in there. You know, you're looking at the next closest would be these Raptors, about a 7-point, 6-point differential in team total. So give me some Halliburton for sure. Benedict Mathurin, your boy, shooting guard, small forward eligible, put up 43 DraftKings points in his last contest. He's only 5,500. And we've seen with Nesmith out, he's kind of risen up and gotten some more minutes in there. Should Jalen Smith sit? I think that ups Miles Turner, who's 6,900. We saw what Miles Turner did yesterday, putting up 43 DraftKings points himself in limited minutes, 30 minutes. So I think some of the bigger news on the shorter slate is Jalen Smith going to be in or out? If he is, I like Miles Turner. Also like Obi Toppin, who is kind of that power forward, can go big if needed. Only thing with Obi, I think he'll be lower owned just because his minutes have been so up and down all season. But you'll need a guy like Jalen Smith to miss in order for him to be viable, in my opinion. But give me some Halliburton. Definitely give me some Benedict Mathurin. And and then give me some Obi Toppin and or Miles Turner should Jalen Smith be out. On the other side, I'm with you. Scotty Barnes, 8,900, great price. He just can do it all, really can get there so many different ways. I really like him. Quickly, who I was on Friday night, don't mind him as well. And then kind of my, low owned, low price guy, dual eligibility point guard, small forward eligible, Bruce Brown. I really like Bruce Brown. Been playing 25 plus minutes. Some of that has been due to injury, but 25, 32, 26, 31 minutes. So he's seeing the minutes there, and I think he could pop off, for a double-double, maybe get some rebounds, getting some points. So he would be my low-owned guy. I think we're going to need a couple of those on a slate with only 4 games to choose from.
No, excellent breakdown there. Say hi to a couple of people in chat. I see our guy Wolf of Ball Street in here. Welcome in. Could be Travis building lineups from the crane, man. Stay safe there with those winds going on. Not sure what's up there. We got our guy Jake Swales in here. New one's always in here. Charlie, everybody in here. If you guys are new, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. That's all we ask for here. But yeah, I'm with you. Miles Turner, I think, is a good play. Like you said, if Jalen Smith on the back-to-back here, if they hold him out, I think that definitely helps a guy like Miles Turner at 6,900. But for me, I really like the ping pong here. Scotty Barnes, Tyrese Halliburton. This matchup for Scotty Barnes is absolutely elite. We just seen him last game, right? He went for 29, 12, and 8 against the same Pacers team here. I think it's another great spot for him. I really like him. You can play him at the small forward position as well, which I do. So I really like Scotty Barnes here quite a bit. Like I said, I have interest in Quickly. On the other side, I really like Tyrese Halliburton. He does it all for this team here. And I think it's an up and down spot. I think it's the best game on the slate here. I get it. Not a ton of injury news. We're going to talk about injury news once we get to that late game, right, with Miami. That's where I think a lot of people go to. But I think this is still a really good game to kick off the slate here. So I'm with you there on that one. Let's jump into the next game here. We have Detroit and New York Knicks. 11-point spread in this one. 223 is the total. In terms of news, Saster's out, Stewart's out, OG's out, and Julius Randle is out. So got some injury news, mainly on the Knicks side here. Is a Jalen Brunson spot for you at 9,700. Talk on Brunson versus Tyrese Halliburton for you. You got Dante DiVincenzo all the way up to 7,100 now. Is it a spot you're going to him? And then anyone on the Detroit side here, Detroit, New York, Nick Hamwich.
Yeah, so if I'm picking, I'm definitely taking Halliburton over Brunson for a variety of reasons. I think it's a better game environment. Just obviously a lot higher point total between the two teams. I like his upside and the things that Halliburton can do versus Brunson. And he's a little bit cheaper, $200 cheaper than Brunson. With that being said, I mean, if you wanted to get different and contrarian in a GPP, I think Brunson is not the worst play. We've seen time and time again with the injuries that they've had, with the departures that they had, no OG as well, no Randall, that he's going to, chuck it up there 25 plus times a night. Still going to get, right around 6.5, 7 assists a night as well. He's definitely capable of putting up, a 60, 70 burger. But if I'm choosing, I'm going Halliburton over him. I think you're going to get different by taking Brunson in this matchup. And then the other Nick that I like is Bojan Bogdanovic, 5,900. Only played 19 minutes out last time, but I think if we can get him up into the 25 range, he's going to be a great play. We need him to get roughly, 35 DraftKings points, but I definitely think he's capable of doing. I personally can't pay 7,100 for DiVincenzo, so I won't be going there. 6,500 for Josh Hart is too much for me. Then on the flip side, interested to hear what you have to say about this, but my favorite Piston is going to be 6,800 Jalen Duren. I really like him tonight. I think he can take advantage of these bigs for the Knicks. Going to play hopefully 30, 35 minutes, Duren is. So give me some Duren. And then my last, I'm not going to call it a revenge game because he didn't really have a great career, but I like Quentin Grimes, 3,600, great value in my opinion. Played 26 minutes his last time out. Coming back into a place where he wants to play good, wants to stick it up Tibbs, his rear end. So give me some Quentin Grimes at 3,600. Definitely don't mind that play, but Grimes and Duren would be my favorite two Pistons. And then Brunson would be my favorite Nick if I wasn't going to Halliburton.
Yeah, no, great breakdown. I get the reason, right? I see everyone's kind of slandering me in the chat, right? Talking about Brunson. I think the ownership is going to follow. I think Brunson comes in higher owned than Halliburton once ownership goes in, right? Detroit can't defend anybody, especially at the guard position, right? Brunson's got an elite matchup. I'm just going to side with Halliburton here. I think the game stays much more competitive in that first game. Obviously, it's only 4-game slate, so I do have more blowout concern thought process than I typically would on a full slate. And I'm going to side with Halliburton personally for the $200 cheaper there. Even if ownership is pretty similar, I just don't think this game stays super competitive here, especially with Cade Cunningham being on pretty strict minutes limit. It seems. I would say if the game stays close, you gotta like Cade Cunningham, but I can't play Cade. Seems like he's pretty much capped at 30 minutes, right around 30 minutes. He could get there, but just hard for me to see this game stay close here personally. With the game in New York, in the Garden there, I get the reasoning, right? Brunson's matchup is elite. He's been crushing as of late. It's just give me Halliburton over him. So I'm out on Brunson here. Going to be a stand that I take. Two guys I like for the Knicks side is Josh Hart. I think Josh Hart's a solid play here at 6,500. Can get you some peripherals here in this matchup. Obviously, it's still a good matchup for everyone on this Knicks team. So give me 6,500 Josh Hart, who can kind of do it all. He can score. He can pick up peripherals. I really like him. And then I think Precious Achiuwa is a solid play as well. Him and Josh Hart continue to play all the minutes they can handle. Obviously, if this game blows out, they're going to lose the last rotation, probably play low 30s instead of upper 30s. If they do lose that last rotation, but I like those two guys the most from the Knicks side. And then I'm with you, Jalen Duren. There's some coach speak there with Duren. Right. Monty said he wants to get more post-up action going, right, with Jalen Duren down in the post. Defense has been slipping a little bit for the Knicks on the interior as well. So I do like Jalen Duren. If I had to pick one guy from Detroit, right, not saying you have to play a Detroit piece, but it would be Jalen Duren, just because coach speak is on his side. The defense has been slipping on the interior a little bit for the Knicks as well. So give me some Jalen Duren, give me Josh Hart, give me Precious Achiuwa. Those are kind of the three guys, but overall I don't like this game a ton. Just kind of the nature of the slate personally is where I'm going.
I'm surprised that people like Brunson over Halliburton. And I'm with you, and I see the chat blowing up. All we talk about Brunson over Hallie? Come on, give me some Hallie. He played 31 minutes yesterday. Kid's young. His hamstring's fine. We got him projected for 35 minutes tonight. We got Brunson projected for 36. So, man, give me Hallie. And especially if Brunson is going to be higher owned than Hallie, I think Hallie is a much better play tonight than Brunson, in my opinion.
Yeah, I got to see how ownership shifts, but I mean, I have to assume, right? Brunson is going to, in my mind, Brunson's going to be higher owned just due to the matchup, right? Point guards against Detroit. Detroit doesn't play a lick of defense. Everybody knows that here. Brunson at home. I think the ownership's pretty similar. I'm just going to side with Halliburton for all the reasons I already listed. I get it, but hey, the chat, right? If we're against the chat, how much one of us is going to win. So at the end of the day, hey, if the members win, if the chat wins, good for them. We'll move on to the next night. If we win, shame on the chat, right? But let's move on to the next game here, Brooklyn and Memphis. In terms of this one, 216 total, lowest total on the slate, but just a 2-point spread. In terms of the injury news, Ben Simmons is questionable on the Brooklyn side. Outside of that, Conchar is out on the Memphis side. Outside of that, really no injury news. In this one, pretty gross game overall. I see some people talking about it, right? It is only a 4-game slate, so hard to cross it off. But, man, I don't like a lot from this game. Maybe, right, Dennis Schroeder. Outside of that, not a ton of interest. Jaren Jackson, maybe. But, personally, I don't like this game at all. I'd rather go to that Detroit-New York Knicks game compared to this game. Obviously, I have a ton of interest in the Toronto-Indy game, and then once we get to the Miami-Sacramento game, we're going to have a ton of interest in that, right? We have a lot of injury news in that one, especially on the Miami side. So these two middle games, not the most intriguing. I side with Detroit and New York over this one, but talk to me, Brooklyn, Memphis here.
Yeah, you said it. This game is going to be gross. And I've said it all year long. Like these Nets, they're just never on the winner. Like they have 4 or 5 dudes that score, 25, 35 fantasy points a night. and they're just never on the winner. And I don't think they're going to be on the winner again tonight. My favorite net, who only plays 20 minutes, would be Ben Simmons, but we need him to play more minutes. I mean, 5.5, not a huge price tag. I wish he was starting and playing, 30 plus minutes, but no nets for me. I'm gonna stay fading those guys. I just don't think that they can beat me. If you had to play one, I think it's Mikal Bridges. I mean, that's not $7,200. I personally won't get there, but that's the one that I would be targeting. And then on the Memphis side, it's one guy for me only, Jaren Jackson Jr. He is their best player. He's going to shoot it 20 plus times a game. He can do the blocks. He can do the steals, rebounds, those types of things that you see. So it's Jaren Jackson Jr. and no other Grizzly for me. And then really no nets for me. But if you had to play one, which I'm not, it'd be Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, no, great breakdown here. I'm with you here. Really don't like this game a ton at all. You could grab some plays if you want to go here. I mean, there's going to be some low-owned places here, but again, just not too interested overall in this game for me. Let's jump into the last game. Obviously, this is going to be a very important game from DFS perspective because if you look at the news, right, you got Thomas Bryant out for Miami suspended, Jimmy Butler suspended out, Tyler Hero's out, Jovic is out, and Terry Rozier is out for Miami. So they got literally no guards. That means you got a stone minimum 3K DeLon Wright, probably going to be one of the highest owned players on the entire slate at 3K flat. We got him projected for 25 points right now. He's going to play a lot of minutes at stone minimum against the Kings here. So obviously tons of injury news on the Miami side. On the other side, pretty much a fully healthy team outside of Alex Len, but going to be loading up with some of these guards and maybe a Bam Adebayo from Miami. Are you going to run it back with any of these Kings, a De'Aaron Fox, a Sabonis, a Keegan Murray? Where are you going in this one? Obviously, very, very interesting game here to end it. 224 total, 6-point spread in this one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you just did the rundown of the Heat lineup, and they don't have any players. I mean, so what does that mean? If you need the salary, the newly acquired DeLon Wright at 3K, it's going to be a good play. You're going to have him, I think, if you want some studs, just based on the simple fact that he's going to have to play. He's going to have to play a ton of minutes, obviously do a lot of different things for him. But if I'm thinking other Heat, like I want to go to the good Heat players that have been there. And that starts with Bam Adebayo with no other, none of their other best players, no Hero, no Butler. I think Bam goes to town tonight and gets plenty of work. So Bam would be my favorite Heat player outside of Wright. I like Wright just strictly based off the price. Don't mind Duncan Robinson either. I think Duncan Robinson's going to get his fair share of shots up there. So don't mind Duncan as my third favorite Heat player. And then on the other side, I mean, Mr. Triple-Double, Sabonis, I think, is squarely in play at 10-2. I think he gets there again. De'Aaron Fox at 8-3. I don't like him quite as much as I like those other two guards in Brunson and Halliburton that we talked about earlier. Obviously, you're getting about $1,000 savings on him. I don't really like this Kings team. They spread it around a lot outside their big two, in my opinion. So if you wanted to jam in a Sabonis and a Fox as opposed to one of those guards, I wouldn't hate that. And then give me some Wright, give me some Bam, and then give me some Duncan Robinson as my three favorite Heat players.
Yeah, no, great breakdown. Obviously, DeLon Wright, love him here. Think he's pretty much a lock for me at 3K flat. He's just going to play all the minutes. Second favorite guy is definitely going to be Duncan Robinson, a shooter. He's going to have to be tasked to do a lot more, right, without all those other guards on. He's just 5,400. You know what he can do. Not going to pick up a ton of peripherals, but should be relied on heavily here for scoring. And he's shown the ability to do that, so I do like them. And then Jaime Jaquez, I think, is going to pick up a lot of the peripherals, a lot of the other stuff. So I really like Jaime Jaquez at 5,600 as well. Duncan Robinson, Jaquez, and DeLon Wright. Love those guys. Bam Adebayo, I think, is fine here. I think it's a massive spot for him, right? He's going to be asked to do pretty much everything. Without those other guys, he's kind of the lone soldier left in that offense to do everything. So could be a spot where I'm playing 3 or 4 of these Heat just due to the minutes. Game should stay pretty competitive. At least Vegas thinks so, even with the injuries. On the Kings side, I get it, right? Domantas Sabonis has been smashing, but now gets pretty tough assignment here going up against Bam, right? Bam's a very good defender. So give me De'Aaron Fox personally over Sabonis here. De'Aaron Fox hasn't been that great, right? 8.3K. But actually since the All-Star break. 40 minutes, 43 minutes, 37 minutes, 33 minutes. He's playing the minutes, 65, 56, 53, 55. Who knows? Maybe something got under Fox there over the break, right? And needed some time to get his legs back underneath him, get his shot back falling. So really like De'Aaron Fox in this spot over Sabonis. I just don't like the matchup for Sabonis. Could Sabonis do it? Absolutely. But you get Fox at almost $2,000 cheaper in a spot here against pretty much, who's Fox going to be going up against, right? DeLon Wright, Duncan Robinson, Jaime Jaquez maybe. I'd much rather side with that than going up against a guy like Bam Adebayo. So any thoughts on that? Seems like you're probably on my side, right? Fox over Sabonis. But any thoughts on that comparison there on the King side?
Yeah, I think Fox is definitely a contrarian play as opposed to Halliburton and Brunson. I don't mind either one of them. He is $1,900 cheaper, so definitely think that's in play as well. But I definitely think Wright's going to be the key to this. Right, $3,000 just opens up a whole lot. I see some Caleb Martin. I see some Kevin Love talk in the chat. I think any of those guys are fine. Right, it's just a crapshoot to me, in my opinion, and that's why I want to take the best players on the Heat. And in my opinion, I think that is Bam. I think that is Duncan Robinson in terms of Duncan has been there and has been playing consistently. He's going to get those shots up where we don't really know what those other guys are going to do. So give me some Bam as my number one Heat player outside of Wright, who I strictly like just because of his $3K price tag.
Yeah, I just think Fox, right? Since he's returned back, he's averaging 38 minutes per game, right? 33, 7, and 8. Which is a pretty damn good stat line. 33 points, right? 7 assists, 8 rebounds. I just think it's a good spot for him. I see some people talking about Keegan Murray. I think a lot of people go to Keegan Murray. It is a solid matchup for him. He is only power forward eligible, which does suck, right? You can only play him at 3 positions, power forward, or the utility spot. And it is the last game of the night. I think he's fine. But man, he just hasn't been great overall. He is playing the minutes, which you do like to see. He's pretty much locked into his 35 to 37 minutes at 5,100, which definitely does help a ton, or is definitely nice when you see a player like that. I like De'Aaron Fox here. So it's Fox, it's Bam Adebayo for me, Duncan Robinson, and Jaime Jaquez to summarize it. Kind of a long-winded answer here of my 4 favorite plays in this game, and then obviously DeLon Wright, pretty much a staple in all my lineups here tonight. That's all 4 games. Hammett, you got any final thoughts? Any questions or comments in the chat that sparked your eye before we get out of here?
Yeah, looking at this one, and you can answer as well. But for me, it's going to be Halliburton and Brunson are my favorite two out of that threesome. Obviously, they're higher price than Fox, but interested to hear what your take is, Nades, on that.
Yeah, I'm going to go Fox and Hallie personally. I just think Brunson's going to be very chalk. I'm hoping that game blows out, to be honest with you. Personally, I get it. Brunson's a great play here. I just think Fox. I think Fox is back. I do. 4 games in a row now. He's playing all the minutes he can handle here. Should literally have whatever he wants here. And I just think Bam's going to give Sabonis some issues down low. So give me Fox, give me Halliburton. Those are my 2 guys in that question is kind of where I'm going.
Yeah, no, you said he's going to have some guy named DeLon Wright trying to guard him, perennial backup, trying to guard an all-star. Yeah, so I don't think it's a terrible play. I think Fox may light it up tonight as well.
Just look what Fox has been doing, right? 14 to 31. He's taken 12 three-point attempts, 7, 6, 4, 30 shot attempts, 26, 18, 22. He's playing all the minutes he can handle, and now he gets DeLon Wright defense, Duncan Robinson, Jaime Jaquez. Like, who's going to guard this guy, right? Whereas Sabonis has Bam Adebayo, right? One of the best interior defenders in the entire league. I just think it's a Fox night. 8,300, a fair price point. Ownership should stay in check here. He's gone for 55 plus in 4 straight games since the break, or since we returned back from the break. I really like Fox. That's all 4 games, though. How much you want to give a play of the day before we get out of here for the people? What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. 4 games. We got 170 on this short slate. We certainly appreciate everyone tuning in. I'm going to go back to that Toronto Indy game. Hopefully I don't steal your play, but I'm going to go with the guy that is 5,500 shooting guard, small 4 eligibility. Benedict Mathurin, 43 DraftKings points his last time out. No Aaron Nesmith. Highest total game, almost 245. Give me Benedict as my play of the day.
And I see Newens. I'm still fighting back from illness. Sorry if I said something that didn't make any sense here. You guys can probably sound it in my voice. I've been sick since last week, Wednesday. So fighting through that, trying to drink the high noon, the high noons and get this sickness out of me. But if I said something, I don't know if you're referring to me or what Hamuch said. But my play of the day here is going to this last game. It's a guy that I didn't bring up yet. I think the ownership goes to Keegan Murray in this last spot. Miami, right, without those guys missing that, it is going to be a big 3-point funnel here, in my opinion, from the Miami side. I'm going to go to a guy from the Sacramento side that I didn't talk on, 4,900, a pivot off of Keegan Murray, who I think the ownership goes to much more than a guy at the shooting guard position. Kevin Huerter here, 4,900, 3-point shooter. I think this is a good spot for Kevin Huerter here. I like Fox a ton. Obviously, you guys get that point there with Fox, but Kevin Huerter, I think, as a pivot off of Keegan Murray, play him at the shooting guard or guard position. I like Kevin Huerter at 4,900 with the 3-point line being pretty wide open for him here tonight. That's going to do it for this edition of the NBA show here, brought to you by ShipItNation.com. Again, if you guys are not a member yet, head over to ShipItNation.com. Use that promo code DGEN15. Get you 15% off for life, any package you do choose, not just the first of the month. Since the merger with Degenerate75 and his crew, we brought over NASCAR, we brought over college football, we added a bunch to our PGA product. We brought the Stone over as well, along with the Showdown content, Showdown projections. We got you covered with all of that. And obviously, we have all of their members in our Discord as well, under one. So many more knowledgeable members talking strategy, talking game theory, learning from each other in the Discord. Non-toxic Discord, no tilting, tilt-free zone. It's been an amazing partnership. So we appreciate DGen and his crew and his team coming over. Again, prayers up for DGen. Hopefully everything goes well with him and his health. We're praying for him. If everybody out there could say a quick prayer for him. He's going through some stuff right now. He'll be back as soon as possible, but his health, priority number one, comes first. So prayers for him out there. Use that promo code DGEN15, gets you 15% off. But for Hamwich, I'm Nadesify. Good luck tonight in your contest. Hope to see those Ship It Nation logos at the top. Let's ship it.